going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2Times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story. Subscribe if you're new to the fam. Hit that notification bell for future uploads. Let's get right into it. Some feel as though prison is supposed to rehabilitate people. If someone is incarcerated for years, it's oftentimes thought by family and friends they should come out a better person and more focused on life. But I will be the first to say that is definitely a myth. If anything, prison can do the complete opposite. If you go in and see certain things and interact with people who have PhDs in the streets, it's like a masterclass on learning how to do things better. It's really a mindset thing. I'm a firm believer. A person only changes if they really want to change. Some are comfortable with their way of life, and going back and forth to prison is just part of the game. Sometimes leaving victims in their past. In certain environments, a petty altercation can turn into guns coming out real fast and shots going off in a blink of an eye. And on this episode of Hood Tales, I will be taking it to New Jersey to discuss how a man who had only been home from prison for 8 days ended up with 60 years. According to sources, on May 23, 2019, 26-year-old Tayshawn Hayward was in the Pans Grove Gardens apartments with a friend when a woman approached the men and alleged Tayshawn's homie had stole $30 from her car. The young man denied ever entering the vehicle or taking the cash, but the lady was firm. She felt as though she had the right person and called her husband. At the time, 38-year-old Ordell Telfair was with the young lady's husband, as he had received the call of the alleged theft. Ordell, who had recently been released from prison for weapon possession charges 8 days earlier. The two men decided to pull up to the complex and confront the young men. When they arrived, the conversation would get heated, as the young man denied stealing the money, till the point Tayshawn tried to intervene and calm everyone down. But by this time, the lady's husband and young man being accused were going back and forth. Tayshawn tried to remove himself from the situation and bopped off, when allegedly Ordell ran up to Tayshawn, pulling a revolver from his dip and letting off one shot, hitting the young man in the face before fleeing the scene. The young man would be rushed to a local hospital, where the next day he would unfortunately not make it from his injuries. Local police talked to witnesses that was at the scene and tried to figure out how two men that wasn't even involved in the initial altercation ended with one gone and the other being on the run. The husband and wife that accused the young man of stealing told police the situation wasn't even that serious, and they pointed to Ordell as the trigger man, stating they didn't know why he did it. But the man wasn't nowhere to be found. As a warrant was put out, a nationwide manhunt would start, and weeks later, Ordell would be arrested in Georgia. He told police he was innocent and could not confess to something he didn't do, but he was still charged with the murder of Tayshawn and possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. Once the trial started, Tayshawn's mother demanded answers from Ordell, asking why did he fire a weapon when he wasn't threatened and her son was trying to walk away. Ordell maintained his innocence, but with witnesses and prosecutors pointing out Ordell had just been released from prison 8 days earlier and that he was a danger to society and the system failed, that was enough for Ordell to be found guilty of the hit and the gun charge and being sentenced to 60 years in prison. Tayshawn's mother was hurt and stated that no one is perfect, but her son was a good young man. Rest in peace, Tayshawn. I send my prayers and condolences to the family. More of this story, being in the wrong place at the wrong time can be dangerous. Ordell seemed like he wanted to prove a point for whatever reason. Even though Tayshawn tried to stop the whole situation, the crazy thing is, this wasn't neither one of their beefs from the start. $30 cost someone their life, and a man 60 years in prison after only being home 8 days. Pride is dangerous if not handled right. A situation that could have been easily resolved turned fatal because one person had a chip on their shoulder. Think before you react, because you never know what the outcome will be. So remember, We gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, crazy story, you feel me? Rest in peace, Tayshawn. I send my prayers and condolences to the family. Young man wasn't doing nothing, you feel me? He was just trying to help his homie clear his name. He was trying to mediate the situation so it wouldn't go no further. But the thing that he was trying to avoid, it ended up happening because Odell, for whatever reason, I guess he felt like he had something to prove. He had a chip on his shoulder. He had that blick with him, and he whipped it out. And I was thinking, when I first heard the situation, I was thinking maybe he thought Tayshawn was going to get a gun, and that's why he chased him down or whatever. But it really ain't make sense, you feel me? Because at the end of the day, if you did feel like that, you could have just been like, all right, bro, let's get up out of here. Let's bounce. Lil bro say he ain't got the money. It is what it is. It's $30 at the end of the day. You know, it's a petty situation. You just came home from prison 8 days earlier. In my mind, you trying to do everything to avoid going back. Plus, these young dudes was young. They was really young enough to be his son almost. You feel me? At the end of the day, man. So I don't know why this situation turned out the way it turned out. You know, some people just feel like they got to go from 0 to 100 at the end of the day. And they feel like any sign of disrespect or anything they feel like they in the right, they just go all out for. You know, I don't know if he was trying to prove to his homeboy that he was going to ride. But at the end of the day, it cost this young man his life for a petty altercation. $30. I be tripping when I hear stories like this. $30, $8, people be losing their life, $13, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, there's certain situations you gotta just let go. I know it's principles and morals that some people be trying to live with, and they be trying to say, oh, it's the principle of the matter. But the principle of the matter be causing people their life or causing people decades in prison. You know, you gotta know when to hold and when to fold. And sometimes you just gotta walk away from the situation. Be like, you know what? Even if you think they got the money, like, you got that. It ain't even about nothing. You feel me? Some people look at it as a sign of weakness. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as being smart and always thinking about the situation. Because one false move, they end up like this. Somebody with their life gone and somebody with 60 years. And it's crazy. Odell literally just came home. Then he tried to go on the run. He was on the run for a few weeks. Then got jammed up, man. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this one, man. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Love, fam.